What did the bullfrog say to the newt? Nothing, it just ate it. But that's not where the story ends. Also, you'll see the only clam mantis shrimp fear, and so much more. The mantis shrimp and the clam have been at each other's throats since the beginning of time. Mantis shrimp might be small, but they pack a powerful punch, literally. With their rainbow shell, they might look different, but their punch is powerful enough to create cavitation in the water. From the impact, the water boils and creates a bubble. When the bubble bursts, it makes a shock wave, and that's how they stun their prey. These punches are powerful enough to punch through glass aquariums. Thanks to their powerful punch, they're voracious predators. They love to eat clams. They break apart the tough shells with a few punches and get to enjoy the meaty insides of their catch. But not all clams are scared of the mantis shrimp. The disco clam might look like the sea version of a hippie, but they're the mantis shrimp's kryptonite. Disco clams have long, bright red tentacles, and they live on coral reefs. If you look closely, you can see little sparks of light flashing on the mouth of the shell. And this is the mantis shrimp's weakness. They don't like the color in the flashing. When the shrimp approaches a disco clam and is ready to punch its shell, the clam will open up and release its tentacles. The clam will stop immediately, go into a catatonic shock, and be unable to attack. Next up, we have lion versus buffalo. Cape buffaloes are a lion's worst nightmare, although safari documentaries show us that a lion can easily overpower these buffaloes, but the reality is quite different. If we look at the numbers, we see that most lion deaths caused by other animals are predominantly Cape buffaloes. They're so intimidating to lions because of their sheer size. When they fight each other one-on-one, buffalo will win 9 out of 10 times. They're fast and powerful and have very sharp and tough horns that are used to impale their largest predator. Sometimes they can even rip the flesh from the lion. As you can see in this video, even though the seasoned hunter knows how to catch a buffalo, he keeps retreating when the buffalo faces him. Only when the prey retreats and turns its back on the lion does he jump on its back and try to take it down. The Cape buffalo reacted quickly, and the predator was forced to retreat once again. So what, you mean to tell us that a lion can never catch a buffalo? No. We're saying that a lion is powerless against a buffalo when they're battling one-on-one. Get a pride of lions and they can take down a single buffalo in no time. But get a herd of buffaloes and a single lion and the predator quickly becomes prey. The newt and the bullfrog don't have a fierce rivalry. The rough-skinned newt can be found in the Pacific Northwest. It usually feeds on tiny invertebrates, but it has a deadly secret. Even if this newt wanders into a predator's territory, it couldn't care less. Why? Well, that's because the skin of the newt is a home for deadly bacteria that smash that like button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, the bacteria on the newt's skin produce the lethal tetrodotoxin, which can kill anything who ingests it. The toxin produced in its tiny gland stops the correct functioning of the diaphragm and heart and paralyzes the muscles. This toxin works with a deadly predator like the garter snake. Despite having built resistance to the newt's toxins, the garter snake can't risk eating this deadly prey. That's why the newt proudly displays its orange underbelly when it notices a garter snake. The bright color is a defense mechanism that tells any predator to back off. But the bullfrog doesn't care. They're indiscriminate predators, meaning they'll eat anything smaller than them. Not seeing the newt's danger, the bullfrog swallowed the animal whole. Inside the bullfrog's stomach, the newt released the powerful toxin, and before the frog's stomach acid could harm it, it killed the predator and escaped. And now comes the jellyfish versus the turtle. Jellyfish are dangerous, right? Well, as Einstein once said, everything's relative. For example, sea turtles love jellyfish, and by love, we mean they love to eat them like a big old bowl of spaghetti carbonara. Wait, can't the jellyfish sting the sea turtle to death? If you ever look inside the mouth of a sea turtle, you'll see that their mouth is different from the mouth of humans. They have special papillae that have evolved to not feel jellyfish venom. The difference between the papillae on our tongues and those inside a turtle's mouth is the composition. You see, they're built from keratin, the protein found in our hair and our nails. Basically, the jellyfish can't sting hair. They stretch from the mouth of the sea turtle all the way to its stomach. And because the jellyfish is 95% water, the sea turtle uses the papillae to squeeze out the excess salt water, leaving only the nutrients inside. The stingray's mortal enemies are sharks, especially hammerheads. You see, hammerhead sharks have a special ability to pin any stingray on the sea floor. This immobilizes the animal and turns it into an effortless meal. But not all stingrays are built the same. While some run away from hammerheads before becoming food, this guy fought to the death. Instead of diving into the depths, he came to the shore. With a slender body, the stingray was able to swim to the beach. Unable to follow its prey, the shark returned to the depths and looked for a different meal. You could see the stingray was scared because it continued wiggling its tail, trying to impale the shark with it even after reaching the shore. And then we have the army ant versus the rainforest land crab. Found on the shores of Costa Rica, this land crab can be found 10 miles off the seacoast. They aren't afraid of smaller insects and predators. Their shell acts as an impenetrable armor that's made from chitin fibers. Besides offering protection, the land crab's body armor offers flexibility and maneuverability. Even poisonous scorpions retreat when they meet this deadly foe. After all, no one wants to get caught in between those giant pinchers. Fearless, the crab continued crawling across the forest floor hoping to find food. Instead of finding something to eat, this rainforest land crab found something that could eat it. Army ants. You might think that they're small and too weak to take down an entire crab, but that's where their size is an advantage. You see, other animals would have trouble penetrating the shell to get to the flesh inside, but the army ants can. First, they begin attacking and biting the eyes of the crab, the only exposed part of the animal. As more and more soldier ants came, the crab found the attack overwhelming. First, it tried crawling away, but the army ants kept coming. Their mandibles were small enough to get in between the joints of the land crab's body. Unable to defend itself with the clumsy claws, the incessant bites flooded the crab's body with toxins until it was unable to move. Then the ants devoured what was left of this giant enemy. Next comes the hornet and the praying mantis. The giant Japanese hornet, also known as the murder hornet, is one of the deadliest predatorial insects in the world. First off, they're 5 times the size of the average bee, and their sting is incomparable to that of a regular wasp. The murder hornet is so strong that it can kill about 1,000 bees in 8 hours. In fact, giant Japanese hornets are the most dangerous predator for bees. They're powerless to stop a murder hornet. 2 or 3 of these hornets can kill an entire colony of bees, and then they'll go inside to eat the larvae. But praying mantises are not bees. Instead of running away, the praying mantis will wait for the murder hornet to stop paying attention and then strike. Extending its spiked raptorial forelegs, they grab the hornet and begin eating it. Unable to touch the mantis's soft underbelly with its stinger, the hornet dies a gruesome death. Japanese hornets are so dangerous that people have reportedly died from Japanese hornet stings. Coyote Peterson's arm swelled to twice its normal size, and the pain was so unbearable he almost blacked out. Farmers are very vulnerable because they destroy hornet nests while working in the field. The swarm then takes flight, and the pain from hundreds of stings is so bad that people have died before they reach the hospital. As for the praying mantis, they can't always win. Even though the Japanese hornet didn't kill the mantis, it made the mantis think twice before striking a giant opponent. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.